is this the weirdest console launch buildup you've ever seen? Because for me, I think it is. I mean, we're building up to the start of the next generation with the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, and it doesn't feel as crazy to me as when the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One launched in 2013. Now, it was a lot different then, obviously, than now. This has been a very weird year. In fact, it's probably been the worst year to attempt a big marketing campaign and big push to launch brand new systems, especially since most likely these are $500 systems, whereas Sony, for example, got to deal with a $400 system back in 2013. Microsoft was the one left with a $500 system. But there was something that I noticed. It was pointed out on Twitter. A couple of different people were pointing this out. I saw Jez Corden tweet about this as well. And it has to do with the Xbox Series X. And there is something strange right now that I started thinking about after the tweet went out. Let me ask you this. Have we seen any gameplay recorded on the Xbox Series X system itself? The reason we know that Sony has shown PlayStation 5 footage from the system is because they'll advertise it, on the front of the game while it's playing. Like Ratchet and Clank, I think, is what sparked this conversation and the question about the Series X, because right there on the front of it, it said captured on a PlayStation 5 console. Sony has done this a few times, right? It was Spider-Man, I believe, and a couple of other games, and they did it with Unreal Engine 5. If you remember, they, of course, had Epic go out and put the PlayStation 5 over about how great the SSD is and all this stuff they can do with it, but they stressed like 20 times that the Unreal Engine 5 demo that we saw was playing on a PlayStation 5 console. They went like above and beyond to sell us on that, but then I thought about it after this was put out there, and I went back and looked. I was like, okay, no, I feel like the Series X has played something, right? Like, it has to have. And I went back and looked. From what I can tell, the only games that the Xbox Series X has played are older Xbox One and Xbox 360 games. Now, going back to when Digital Foundry and Austin Evans went to Microsoft and they showed them the Series X, remember they let them build it and all this stuff. From what I could tell, they played like Ori and like State of Decay, and mostly it was to show off the ability to jump between games quickly. I think they also played like Forza, for example, but they didn't let them play like a newer Xbox Series X game at all. It was just all older stuff. It was very strange to see that they didn't go, oh yeah, let's show you guys something really cool over here that you can go tell everyone about. Because right now, Microsoft is having a hard time, I think, along with Sony, getting hands-on time with these consoles with the press and the media. Normally, they'd be able to do that in a regular year. I went back and I took a look at the E3 2013 press conferences for both sides, where, of course, Sony ran over Microsoft. But if you go back and watch Microsoft's event, there was a lot of gameplay there. And they also had like hands-on time with media, who then went off and wrote articles about the Xbox One and how they got to play it and all of this. That's not happening right now. And I think that's the hardest part. We are 2 months, because I think the Series X is launching November 6th. I think the PlayStation 5 is launching November 13th. We are 2 months out from these consoles launching, and we have not seen any gameplay from the Series X. Well, I guess you can count the technical demo that Digital Foundry was able to secure when they were there at the Microsoft studio, and they got to show ray tracing, but like the frame rate was cut down to 30, so there was like a stutter, and it does say at the bottom, though, captured on Xbox Series X, but it's really just a tech demo that kind of pans around rooms and turns ray tracing on and off. And we did see Gears of War 5. The only problem is that was mostly a demo to show that games could be moved over pretty easily through backwards compatibility. There was very little done to it in that tech demo. Yeah, there's nothing there to me that's screaming how powerful this box is. In fact, the only place that's saying that is Microsoft themselves. They keep saying it, but they're not showing it. I also went back because some people told me that they thought the medium was played on the Series X. And from what I can tell, I think they said it was just played on a PC. And the biggest part here is how Sony will just put it front and center, captured on a PlayStation 5 console. If you look at what's going on with Microsoft, you'll see things like Scarlet Nexus gameplay, and it'll say footage representative of expected Xbox Series X gameplay. Doesn't say anything about it actually running on the Series X, just what they think it'll look like running on it. If Microsoft still has some event left in them, and I think they do, in September they're going to show the Series S, it appears, and maybe they'll show some gameplay for the Series X. They have to put something up. It's like, oh, we captured this on the world's most powerful console, the Xbox Series X, right? That's what they keep saying. But they're not showing any gameplay on the world's most powerful console. It's so strange to me to not do that. Actually, you know what? They're kind of lucky they didn't show Halo Infinite on the Series X, because that was on a PC, since most people ripped that demo apart for how it looked. Not even, like, the gameplay was great. For me anyway. I looked at it and I said, yeah, it's old Halo. Looks good to me. But the visuals, there was a problem. Something was wrong with that demo, but they played it on a PC. If they played that on the Series X and then Sony shows something like Ratchet and Clank, it's like, wow, that's tough, because from what everyone's seeing right now, the PS5 looks like the stronger system when it's not on paper. And I did catch a few times in 2013 during their E3 event where they were on stage, where they mentioned, specifically Phil Spencer, that a game was like in engine on the Xbox One, like it was being played on the Xbox One. So that was something they were doing at the time. Oh, and it was really funny because then Phil Spencer kept mentioning, we have all of these exclusives for the Xbox One. This is just on the Xbox One. They changed that tune from the start of the generation to the end. And they also had Don Matrick out there, which was really funny to see as well. Just how much Microsoft has changed in the course of a single generation is like incredible. I don't think it's going to come down to myself, Digital Foundry, or any media outlet to be like, here's Series X gameplay, and the reason we have it is because the console's out and we bought it. So here's gameplay. I don't think it's going to come to that. I believe during this event coming up that they will do, it'll be probably like a live stream or you know, it's a pre-recorded event. They'll probably show gameplay, and I'm trying to figure out what they'll show. Maybe some sort of third-party game that's playing on the Series X. They already locked up Yakuza Like a Dragon. Might as well show that. It's not gonna like blow people away with how it looks, but still, they could at least do something that's like, yeah, we captured this on a Series X. Check out the load times. That would be a good one, right? To do that. And they'll outline pricing, release date, and the Series S as well. It's just such a strange thing to consider right now, being 2 months from release day for both of these consoles, and we're missing so much information right now. Now, I did see some people wonder if the Series X was going to get delayed. I do not believe so. I think that ship sailed when they changed from holiday to November. They're going to push this system out there alongside the Series S, actually. I think both of them will be there for the holiday. It's going to be weird because they won't have like anything really to launch next to. I guess they can push backwards compatibility and enhancements for current games, and I guess stress that Yakuza Like a Dragon is a next-gen experience that is only seen on the Xbox Series X when it comes to consoles. I mean, it'll be on PC as well, and I'm sure there will be some wild stuff happening there with the new NVIDIA cards, but that's kind of like the big thing they have right now is to lean on third parties. So they're probably hoping that a lot of these third-party games come out and Digital Foundry just says, this is amazing. Like, it's so much better on the Series X, right? But it's such a weird time right now. Obviously, pandemic is going on and all of this, so it is a struggle for a lot of studios right now to get this stuff done. And on top of that, everyone's shipping hardware with Sony and Microsoft. It's all over the place right now. But I mean, I have to say, if you really sit down and look at it, Sony's showing gameplay and Microsoft's not. And Microsoft is the company that's going to be bringing out a more powerful system on paper. So you feel like they'd want to show that. But let me know what you guys think about this situation down below, because it just struck me as odd when I was going through Twitter, seeing that, and then going back and looking because I couldn't believe it. But they're right. There really hasn't been any obvious gameplay on the Series X. It's one thing to be on stage and like, we're going to play this on PC, but they're not even doing that now. They could easily sit down, capture something on the Series X, and just push it out online and be like, here's Series X gameplay of something that looks really, really good. Let me know what you guys think, though, down below. Make sure to like the video on the way out if you enjoyed it. Dislike it if not, and I'll see you next time.